Most women waste years waiting for an even playing field. But here's the simple truth. The playing field will never be even. Everybody has an unfair advantage, including you. Something that just comes easy and natural to you that others have to fight for. Connections, location, skills, family, looks, personality traits, something. The women that win don't play fair. They find their unique edge and double down on it. And so in the next 10 minutes-ish, I'm gonna show you 5 ways to build your unfair advantage so you don't spend your life exhausted, resentful, and a little bitter watching other women get ahead because they were just willing to use what they had. Hi, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Vickita, and on my channel, I try to help you get everything you want the easy and softer way. If you've done all the doing and you just want things to start landing in your life, you should stick around and subscribe. The waitlist for my masterclass Coherence is now officially open, so if you're interested in checking out the details, the link for that is down below. Here's what nobody tells you. Playing fair means that you are trying to outgrind and outwork everyone else. Same hours, same advice, same path, same hustle, and just basically may the hardest worker win. Playing to win means you are using what's already yours, aka your path of least resistance, the thing that's easy for you and hard for everyone else. So if nothing's working right now, you do not need to work harder, you just need a different strategy. And first, that starts with how you think. So let's get straight into number 1. Stop being humble. Most women are quietly getting in their own way because they think that they're just being humble or modest. And I don't mean that you have to become arrogant. I just mean that you have to stop hiding. Stop dimming yourself down. Stop shrinking your light because it makes other people feel some type of way. One of my mottos in my life is genuinely most things are a them problem, not a you problem. If you shining fully and expressing yourself, and again, not being arrogant, but just simply showcasing your capabilities when necessary, your skills and what you have going for you, your unfair advantages, if those things make other people feel some type of way, that is not a you problem, that is a them problem. Constantly monitoring yourself to see if other people are getting offended by what you're doing, how you're showing up in the world when you're not dimming your light, that is literally the most exhausting thing ever. Your brain, your body genuinely will shut down because it's constantly on edge and scanning for every little micro expression of somebody being dissatisfied with you showing up in your full authentic self. I learned this the hard way back in 2023 when my channel first came poppin' and started going viral. I connected with another fellow influencer actually in the same space. Her name is Haley Gamba, and she had this great opportunity. She presented it to me, and it was basically to get featured in her Hailmas, which is just like Vlogmas, but her name is Haley, so she does this like Christmas thing every single year. And she goes, I'm getting a few other creators in our space, and I would like you to be one of them. And basically, this is the video idea. You're just gonna do a little teaching segment. I was thrilled. I was like, oh my God, this is such a great opportunity. Her audience is huge, by the way. So I was gonna be really putting myself out there to a completely fresh, brand new audience. But guess what I did? I sabotaged myself, okay? What I did was created a great segment for her. She was so happy. I got it in early. Everything was good and smooth. But not one time during my feature on her channel did I mention my name. Did I mention my social media channels? I didn't plug myself once because somewhere inside of me, I felt like it was greedy. I felt like, no, if people really like what they hear from me, then they will just naturally find me. They will Google my name. And the truth of the matter is nobody is going to beg you to succeed. They are not going to come and physically drag you out of hiding and from the shadows and present you in front of the world. Nobody is going to come find you because you sat patiently in the background waiting for your big break and now it's finally your turn. You could be doing all the right things. You could have the purest heart. You could go in with such great intention. But if you are not taking up space and you are not approaching it with a very audacious mindset, you get an opportunity and you rinse that thing, you milk it to the best of your abilities, you will be doing all the right things and hoping someone notices for the rest of your life. This is kind of a paradoxical one because it's like in the humblest way possible, take credit for the things that you do. Mention yourself, plug yourself. Stop shrinking, stop minimizing yourself. Don't have to be loud, you just have to stop selling yourself short. Number 2 is finding your UVP. I talk about this in this video when I'm addressing the looks, but it's the same across the board, your unique value proposition. And this is one that I see so many women getting wrong, that they're wasting their lives doing, trying to get really good at something that was never gonna be your thing to begin with. By the way, this is probably why you feel behind and why most women feel behind, because you are following someone else's blueprint. How come it looks so natural and effortless for her, but when I do it, it's like swimming upstream, okay? I just can't do it. It takes so much effort. You're doing it all wrong. You're going about this in the worst way possible and the hardest way possible. So the easiest way to do this is to ask yourself 3 questions, and then I've got a cheat code for you. Number 1, ask yourself, what feels easy to you and high effort to other people? What feels natural to you that other people have to really try at to even, get 1% good at? Number 2, what do people compliment you on? Number 3 is experiment. So just getting out there and putting in the reps, which we'll touch more on in point number 3. So basically you're taking inventory. Maybe you're naturally really good with people. Maybe you're great at pattern recognition. Maybe you have had a very tough upbringing, but it's built adversity and resilience to a level that most people just struggle with. That is a real skill. Maybe you're really good at personal finance. Maybe you're really good at writing and getting your thoughts out and expressing yourself. Maybe you live somewhere geographically desirable that allows you to have more opportunities than most people. Maybe you're good in a room. Maybe people really just open up to you and you have no idea why, but you have one conversation with a stranger in a grocery line and next thing you know her entire life story. Whatever is on the list, that's your edge. You are not building something new. You are quite literally just building upon something that's already there. It's already written for you. It's coded for you. And that takes me to my cheat code that has changed my life, that we also cover a little bit more in coherence, like obviously in depth. So again, if that's interesting to you and you want to find out more, the link for that is below. But here's a simple way to do it. First, you're going to go pull up your birth chart. You can go online, go to astroseek.com. It takes like 2 minutes. You're going to need your birth time, your birth location, and your birthday. Then you take a screenshot of it and then scroll all the way to the bottom and copy the housings and the positions and the aspects. Drop it into Claude or whatever AI that you like or you use, and then prompt it with this. Based on my chart, what are my natural strengths? Where do I tend to struggle? And what's my path of least resistance? And then you can jazz it up a little bit, but that's a really basic prompt. And then you can start talking with it and really dive into your chart. But this is the easiest way to see what you came into this lifetime with, what is naturally coded for you, what your strengths are, your path of least resistance, and like what you came here already with that you just need to fine tune, that you just need to laser in on and focus. I do this with human design as well. So you can generate your chart, you can whack it into Claude and ask the same questions, and then ask Claude to sort of merge them together to give you a full overview and blueprint. I'm not saying let this chart run your entire life. Please do not run with that, okay? I'm saying use it as a mirror. Sometimes you just need something outside of you to reflect back to you what has been there the whole time that you might have been missing and what your edge has been without you even knowing it. By the way, I just want to mention this video is sponsored by short form, and I genuinely think short form is one of my unfair advantages, and that's why I love them so much. I love learning. I would like to think I'm pretty smart, and being able to get through way more of the best books and ideas than I'd ever have time for. Now that, my friend, will put you ahead of 99% of people. Short form has the best guides for basically every self-development, psychology, and manifestation book out there. And the best thing is they don't just summarize them, they really break them down and give you this analysis and key points. And then they also go as far as to add little exercises so the ideas actually stick instead of you just forgetting about them like a week later. New guides drop every week and you get a vote on what they cover next. And their browser extension can summarize an article or even a YouTube video with just one click. So if learning is one of your edges too, or you want it to be, go to shortform.com/Trivedi for a free trial and a discount on the annual plan. The link for that is in the description box. Okay, number 3 is where we experiment. And this is what I like to call reps over research. Here's the thing. You probably, and I know you don't, have a knowledge problem. You have enough information for the rest of your life. You know exactly what you need to do. The problem is coming from not actually executing or taking action on the information. This is a loop that I wasted a lot of time in that I really want to save you from. You can spend time strategizing and coming up with a game plan and a blueprint. You're getting a dopamine hit. It feels very productive, like you're doing a lot. But what happens is you collect all of this information and you don't actually know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And notice how I'm saying for you. The problem that I'm having with the self improvement space and feminine energy and just all of the content that we see and consume online, it is a one size fits all approach. I am never going to tell you that what I do is going to work for you specifically because I don't know what your strengths are. I don't know what your weaknesses and blind spots are. I don't know your chart and what you're naturally coded for, but I know what I'm coded for, and I have built my life to match that. You are only going to be able to find out the kind of life that works naturally and effortlessly for you, your idea of relaxed and calm and regulated, if you don't go out there and actually test all the information that you've gathered. Every single time you put yourself out there and you actually experiment and throw in those reps, you increase your surface area for luck to find you. It's like playing the lottery. If you get a lottery ticket only once a year, your chances of winning the lottery are a lot lower than someone who gets a lottery ticket every single week. No matter your thing, whatever you do, if you don't put it out there, opportunities can't find you, luck can't find you, but more importantly, you don't actually know what's going to work for you. A lot of it won't land, it won't stick, but some of it will. And then when you double down on that, that becomes what you do and where you need to go and the threads that you need to pull on. Luck really isn't all that random. The more you put out, the more chance it has to actually hit and land. Number 4 is my favorite, and this is to keep a personal luck diary. It's such a cute thing that you would have thought to do when you were young, and I'm 29 and I'd be doing it. It sounds very small, and that's what I love about it, because it is. It's such a tiny micro thing to do in your day, but it changes how you feel and the energy of your entire day. Your brain is wired to look for what's wrong. It is primitive. It is going to constantly be looking for what's wrong, what's missing, what other people have that you don't. So naturally, you feel behind. You've basically trained yourself to only see what you don't have and the gaps in your life. And this sort of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where you have a story and a belief. Your brain is now naturally wired to look for evidence of that being true. The more evidence you get, the more it further reconfirms the story to you that strengthens those neural pathways of, yeah, okay, I don't have this thing and this is how my life is and I'm just a victim. And then you get more of that evidence because now you are just naturally looking for it, and it just becomes a loop and a cycle. And so the way we break that cycle is we take active effort to make a list of things every single day that went right. Call it your little luck diary. Every single time something opens for you, a little small opportunity, one advantage that you had that day, little tiny things that on a day-to-day basis, you are so caught up in looking at what's wrong, you don't even notice they're there. Start paying attention to them and start writing them down. Now you can see more of your edges and, oh my God, actually that advantage is totally in my favor. Like I have that unfair advantage and that edge and that UVP. Can't actually lean into an edge and double down on it if you're not even seeing that it's there. And number 5, I saved this for the last one on purpose because it's actually the differentiator between women who get ahead and women who fall behind. I like to call this the art of asking because it really is an art. Most of us have been programmed to ask the wrong question. We have been stuck asking the wrong question. We ask for permission. Can I? Should I? Is this okay? And the women who win, they're not asking permission, they are asking for more. More money, more opportunity, more access. You have to learn and train your brain to go out there and be so bold that you almost scare yourself a little bit. It's like, whoa, did I just ask for that? Okay, let's go for it. People offer things to me, I take it, I accept it if it's something that I want. I do not humble myself to be like, no, I couldn't. Should I? Oh, because that person is going to ask again, and then you're going to be like, no, I really shouldn't. And then they're going to be like, okay, totally fine. And then they will never ask you again. And you're going to kick yourself for not accepting it. If somebody has asked me, if somebody is giving me an opportunity for me to do the easiest thing for the path of least resistance, I will always take it. If someone offers to put my bags away, I will let them. If someone offers to buy me something, I will let them. If somebody offers for me to go first in a line, I will not play that dance and no, you go. No, I'm going to go, okay? Because you offered. You have to be that audacious and bold in this life. Most of the time, we have a lot of opportunity in front of us. We are just not asking for it and we are just not claiming it. So let me know in the comments, what is one unfair advantage that you have been underusing this whole time? I am very interested to know. I'm gonna love you and leave you with this video. It is genuinely the video that every single woman needs to watch in order for her life to start landing. I will see you over there, and if I don't, I will see you in my next one.